Dispelling myths about dyslexia on the big screen.
What is dyslexia?
Some kind of disease, I guess.
Coming up, we'll introduce you to the man behind Dislecksia, the movie, and the latest scientific data. Did you know 1 out of every 7 Americans is living with dyslexia? Did you know Winston Churchill had dyslexia? And did you know an estimated 35 million people in this country have dyslexia? Many don't even know it. What they are well aware of, though, is the struggle in school, a struggle that can continue into adulthood. Life with dyslexia is depicted in detail in a new film called Dislecksia, the movie. Here's how the movie starts.
Could I ask you, what is dyslexia?
Dyslexia is when your mind jumbles things up.
Dyslex what?
Dyslexia. What is dyslexia?
Some kind of disease, I guess. Oh, what is dyslexia? That, I guess, is where people read things the other way. I don't know.
The maker of that film, Harvey Hubbell, joins us now, and Harvey has dyslexia. He's hoping Dislecksia, the movie, will change the way children are taught. What do you want done differently in the schools?
Well, I think what's happening is right now there's an education revolution happening with so many people who process things differently. You see, we all process differently. And dyslexics have been around since the beginning of time. They're picture thinkers. And they think more in pictures than in words. Mm-hmm. And public enemy number 1 of the dyslexic is this little thing called the printing press. You know, before the printing press, you couldn't tell who was dyslexic and who wasn't. There could be the king, could be the ship's captain, could be. But now the pendulum has swung back with the advent of the Mac computer.
Yes.
Around here. Now you really can't tell. So, I mean, I think the biggest thing is right now the average teacher, the average school superintendent just doesn't realize that we're all wired differently and we're all expected to learn one way, but we all learn many different ways.
So do you necessarily think dyslexia is a disability?
Well, it's not a disability until you can't read. So I consider it a teaching disability. I could probably get in trouble for saying that, but it is a teaching disability. You're not actually disabled until you can't read.
Ah, and tell me, what did you learn scientifically about what's going on in the brain of someone with dyslexia?
Well, that they process differently, like I was saying before, but that they can learn. And so with the proper teaching methods that are happening, that they're teaching right in Connecticut, we're learning that out of Haskins Laboratory at Yale, New Haven, for instance. We're teaching our teachers that everybody can learn. It's just how we teach them to learn.
So not necessarily with books.
Well, no, we can pre-wire kids a little bit with books, but there's a lot of different ways of absorbing Harry Potter. You know, you can absorb it through books on tape. You know, and people say, well, that's cheating. But if you were to do Braille, is that considered cheating?
Right.
Not so much. Anyway, you get the information in. But you can pre-wire the children. If you do early intervention, you can get the kids up to speed.
Now, you have been very open about the fact that you have dyslexia. Is it very obvious in your writing? Handwriting.
Yeah, sure. Of course. Well, they changed me in school. I was changed from left-handed to right-handed by a first-grade teacher, not by a neuroscientist. They just wanted us to kind of all be writing the same way. So yeah, but you know, my spelling is a little bit off and a couple other things. But you know, there's things called spell check nowadays,
right?
And so we can get around it. But the big thing is. Are dyslexics creative thinkers? Are they picture thinkers? Yeah, when you take a look at Sir Richard Branson and Charles Schwab and all these great minds of people.
I love hearing the list.
These are,
Harvey Hubbell.
When you see the list, you're going to see we cannot squash these people. Einstein, Edison, these are the alleged dyslexics of our time. We can't squash these people. I mean, you know, so what the film that we're working on right now, which we're very close to having done, hopefully we're going to bring out awareness, and it's going to be something that gets people talking about this.
I want to bring up a painful part of dyslexia, the belief among some educators, not all, because there are some amazing educators who understand this, some educators, some adults in the world who don't understand dyslexia and therefore decide a child has no hope for further education.
Doesn't that also make the people, aren't they kind of setting, when they start telling the kid that the kid is incapable of learning, then what kind of results do they get? The kid can't learn. But if they can begin to unlock the child and begin to start working with the kid, they're going to probably be pleasantly surprised. They can learn quite well.
You cover this a lot in the movie, and we want to show folks another clip. Hold on one moment.
biggest advocate?
My biggest advocate is my mother. People say she's like a pit bull with lipstick. She just keeps pushing till she gets what I need.
When you were a kid, did you ever think you were going to go to college?
No. I was even told by teachers that I wasn't going to college.
We had a
Did it
conference.
make you cry?
And she said to me, "Don't worry, Mrs. Wright. Jovan will never go to college."
She needs too much help here. You do too much for her, and we just think that she's not going to make it.
There sat this child who had struggled for 6 years. Why would you burst her bubble in 6th grade?
And why would they? That is the frustrating question you have asked here. But you go on to show her graduating from high school,
Honor Society.
Honor Society, and going on to college. A success story. And so many dyslexics, you know, have gone on to have successful careers.
Well, the key, Charles Schwab, who is a dyslexic, did a little study. Go figure that he would have to, do the study. What makes a successful dyslexic successful? Well, what makes anybody successful? A good advocate. In that case, it was a mom.
Yes.
Sometimes it could be a teacher, an educator. But the bottom line is having people who are involved in these kids' lives who are going to make a difference. And the worst thing is we all remember when a teacher says something bad to us, but we can also remember when a teacher says something good, and that's the most important thing.
So keep in mind, whether the child recognizes it at that moment, you might be really shaping their future.
Sure. I don't even like the word dyslexia. Dys, not so good with language, I mean, I'm a plus lexic. I like being, you understand what I'm talking about.
It's working for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's my shtick. But you understand you hear what I'm saying,
yeah.
Right? It's my language. I speak one language. I speak it poorly, but we're talking.
Yes, we are, and you're doing just fine. You're
See?
making me laugh, too.
That's my job.
But adults with dyslexia, do they have some kind of complex, you think, from all those years of struggling in school?
Sure. I mean, the self-esteem that happens to people, see, everybody's different. All dyslexics are different. So it depends on what happens with these kids. The earlier we get in and do earlier intervention on that, and that's one of the things we're working on, that we can get kids, we can fix them, get them right back on the right path. There's going to be a little bit of damage, sure, because people are telling you, if they're telling you you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, guess what? You're going to be dumb, dumb, dumb. But if they're telling you you can do it, you're going to try to do it. And people do think differently.
Well said, and well said in the movie. Dislecksia the movie. Coming up, cold weather can do a number on your skin.